Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Addison, whatever time you're listening, and thank you for joining us for our ASD Chat for All podcast. We have lots of fun and exciting things on the horizon for Addison School District 4, and this podcast allows us the opportunity to connect with our parents and guardians, families, and community to celebrate our students, their accomplishments, and so much more. Your hosts for this podcast are ASD4 Superintendent Dr. Nick Sutton and myself, Dean Constantopoulos. You interested in hearing more about what's going on in District 4? Come on in and have a chat. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us again for another episode of our ASD Chat for All podcast. My name is Dean Constantopoulos. I'm one of your hosts today, and I'm here with my co-host, Dr. Nick Sutton. Nick, we've got the new microphones. People are feeling good about it. I'm getting excited about it.
We're like Addison Community School District podcast veterans at this point.
I'm telling you.
I like it. We've got so many episodes in queue, so many other people that want to come on, and there's definitely plenty to talk about.
There is, exactly. And, you know, going off that vein here, we've got two amazing guests in here with us. First, we've got Ray Cannon, our elementary band teacher, as well as Marc Smith, who is our elementary orchestra teacher. So both of you, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us, yes.
Of course. So let's go ahead and just jump right in.
Yeah, so I have a good idea of who you guys are. You guys are friendly gentlemen that I had the privilege of being able to meet as I was learning the district and going around visiting buildings. But for everybody out there listening, who are you guys? What you do? And I think it's also interesting, like, how'd you end up in Addison?
Oh, that's actually a really cool story. So my name is Marc Smith, and I teach beginning orchestra here in Addison School District 4. We travel around to all 7 elementary schools and sometimes help out at the middle school as well. I kind of started here in Addison. I was actually a student teacher with Lawrence Underwood, who is now the general music teacher at Lincoln Elementary.
Really?
Yes. So I did band with him for half a semester, then I went to my high school placement in Plainfield. And then when I was looking for jobs, the beginning band and orchestra job opened up, and I applied, and thankfully here I am.
The universe had a plan. Okay.
The universe did have
Yes,
a plan.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like Mark said, we go around to all 7 schools. We do quite a bit of traveling for our job, but it's worth it for the kids. As far as how I ended up here, I actually was teaching general music down south, and band position opened up here, and it was close enough to home and close enough. I like living in the country, so it was close enough to the country.
Yeah, okay.
And I love my hour-and-a-half commute every day to get here, and but it lets me be closer to family and closer to home. So.
And once it works, it works. Well,
Yep.
That's very cool. Okay.
Excellent. And well, you know, so I know that you guys are currently in the process of recruiting for band and orchestra, right?
Correct.
And so I know that we really want to get kids into the arts early. Being a supporter of the arts myself, I know that it's very important to get kids in there as soon as possible. But let me ask you guys both. I know that there's the opportunity for kids to join music both in elementary school, but also when they get here in junior high. So what do you think is the benefit, would you say, of kids joining in elementary school rather than joining when they start junior high?
Well, starting in 5th grade, we focus on a lot of the fundamentals and a lot of the mechanics of how to play your instrument in this small individual group setting. So, like, for instance, the biggest group we usually have is 5 at any school. And then we have multiple lessons throughout the day, but that allows more individualized attention to make sure you know the proper embouchure.
That makes sense.
And know all the basics. Here at the junior high, they focus on that a little bit in 6th grade. But you're in a large group setting where you're usually with like 20 or 30 other students, so you don't get as much as the individualized attention.
Gotcha.
The upside to being at the junior high is they have it every day as part of their classroom where we pull out for our lessons. So we take students for half an hour a week, and then they have one rehearsal here after school. as kind of like the large group. So you get more of the large group setting for the junior high, but for us it's more of the fundamentals of this is how you play your instrument, this is how you hold your instrument, this is how you build good musicianship.
Yeah, and like you said too, that one-on-one meeting between the teacher and the small group setting, it feels more like an individualized sort of plan, right? So Mark, what do you think?
I agree with everything that my coworker said. It's really nice to have those individual lessons. One, you really get to know the student and their personalities, and you can kind of bring that out. Sometimes when they first come to you, they're really shy, but by the end of the school year, they're very energetic, and they just love going to practices every single week. They look very much forward to it. And the after-school rehearsals is a time where they can come together. One, we like to tell them that they get to know people throughout the entire district before they get to middle school, therefore making middle school transition a little less scary to them. So
that's a really good point.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
So they come here once a week for an hour after school, and they get to see a little bit of the middle school. We have our concerts here as well, so they're kind of getting a feel for that as well.
So this will be an interesting question, I think. Pretend there's a parent out there, they're like, okay, I'm sold. I see the value. How do you go about that dialogue of what you recommend that a kid tries in terms of an instrument? Let's say you have a shy child. Let's say you have a kid that loves lots of movement. Like, does personality match to instrument, or how do you kind of engage in that direction?
Nice one.
Well, one of our core philosophies, BPA and performing arts here at Addison School District, we believe that the child should play whatever instrument the child wants to play.
Oh, good answer. Man.
Love that.
I mean, although there are some things like, for instance, I have a tubercle, which is a small deformity in my lip, which makes it really hard to play flute. So I look for that with flute students, and we try it first, and we say, hey, let's give it a shot. And if it doesn't work, we might move them to like a clarinet or a saxophone, something that's still within the woodwinds. We also do a lot of students who do trumpet, but their lips are a little bit too big, so then we move them down to trombone. But primarily, we start with what you want to play, because at the end of the day, if the kid doesn't like the instrument, they're not going to practice.
That makes sense.
It
like
makes
with
a
my
lot of
own
sense.
4 kids, asking them just where to go out for lunch. They can't decide anything, so it's like deciding something of this magnitude with a kid. It's like, you guys really prefer to say, let it be more organic.
Yeah.
Let the kid try anything they're interested in, and the right instrument will just kind of fit.
Yeah, and in the spring, we always go around with our vendor. Now, we hadn't done it for a couple of years because of COVID, but now we're back to normal, hopefully. But we go around and they actually try an orchestra instrument, physically try it at their school, and they try 2 band instruments. So it gives them a chance to, like, right then and there, like, hey, that looks really cool, but maybe that's not the right instrument for me.
Take it for a little test drive before you decide you want to buy that car.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So you'll both come out to the schools then. So it's not like kids will only get the opportunity to choose a band instrument like a brass or woodwind, or a string instrument. They'll get the opportunity to try them all kind of together.
Yep. That's exactly it. We go to the elementary schools. We work it out with a schedule with the 4th grade teachers to find a common time where they can come class by class. Of course, we don't want to overwhelm a gym or something like that.
Of course.
We set out every string instrument. We set out every instrument they can do in the band world, and they get to take a look at it. We demonstrate what they sound like, and they get the chance to come out and try 1 string, 1 brass, 1 woodwind, and percussion as well.
Very cool. Awesome. So for after hearing all of this, I'm sure we're going to have parents that are interested, right? So we've got a parent, they're interested in joining music. They want their kid to be in music. What is something that you think that our parents should know? Any important information that they should be aware of before they get into music? And then on top of that, what are some kind of interesting events or fun things on the horizon to look forward to in music at ASD4 for this upcoming year?
So as far as the main thing we want parents to know is, it comes up every year where there's somebody who wants to do it, they want their child to do it, they just can't financially figure it out for right now. So we work very closely with vendors and scarce, and there was actually an Eagle Scout this year who donated some instruments too. We have instruments and means to help financially if that is a concern. We don't want the arts to be have a pay gate, essentially. You know, everyone should be able to do it. no matter of your economic circumstance. Because at the end of the day, I mean, where music takes you is specifically how much time you put into it.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're practicing every day, I know a lot of people that go to college for free just to play an instrument. They're not even music majors. Like, they might be science or engineering majors. But the schools like NIU will give you a scholarship if you come march in their marching band.
Yeah.
So
That's
there's
amazing.
a lot of opportunities to kind of set up your future through music. So, and then as far as events, I'll let you handle.
Yeah, so it's actually really cool. Music can take you all over the world. I myself have traveled to Nigeria, Jamaica. I've been to England, all through music. I wouldn't have gone to any of these places if I had not been involved in any kind of performance ensemble. So we always tell kids that that's not necessarily the expectation. Like, if you do this, this is where you're going to go, right? You should do this because of this, and it leads to this.
Right.
If you do performing arts, people get to travel, they get to perform with various artists all around the world as well, the United States. So it's a lot of fun. You get to meet so many different people from so many different backgrounds, and it's really cool just to kind of get to know all those different kind of people and how people from who are so different can come together in something so similar and make really good music.
I love it because if anything, I always really enjoy people that are passionate about what they do. You guys exude passion.
Absolutely.
Like, you can't see it through the microphones, but they are smiling. They like what they do. So for any parent out there that's like, all right, this sounds interesting, I want to learn more, what's the easiest way to reach out to you gentlemen?
So the easiest way to reach us personally is we have a joint email, which is bpa@asd4.org. If you're interested in learning more about the program, we have a website, which is join.asd4music.org. You go there to sign your child up. It's 4 steps. We simplified the process this year. That's some of the feedback we got.
That's great.
Perfect.
So it's literally 4 steps. Step 1 is already done, which was talking to your child. We already went around this year and last year. Step 2 is a presentation with commonly asked questions. So anything you pretty much want to know is in there, and if not, there's a link to email us at the end. Step 3 is to physically sign up. So we have a Google form system to sign up, and that shows us once you do that, you're in. And then the last step is to rent an instrument. Now, we do work with multiple vendors in the area. We have some parents that would rather buy instruments. We encourage all that. The only thing we put in step 4 is don't buy instruments off of Amazon. Because they look like instruments, but they are not instruments. They fall apart really quickly.
It's good feedback.
Yes, absolutely.
And then, the kid shows up with, a blue violin that's great, and it breaks the second week. The kid doesn't want to play anymore.
Right.
So, invest in a good instrument, and that's why we have the financial assistance as well, because we know not everyone has the opportunity right now to invest.
I would also like to add that all of our materials that are sent out are both in English and Spanish, just so that we can reach as many of our community as possible, because we know that there are multiple languages spoken in Addison, and we want to cater to as much of that as possible.
Awesome. Thank you so much for saying that. And, just so you guys know, and for everybody listening, I'll actually be including the link to that join the ASD4 music page on the description for this podcast episode. So take a look for that. Nick, if somebody wanted to reach out to you and they got questions for you regarding any of the programs here at Addison School District 4, they want to talk to you about maybe the board meeting coming up,
Sure.
How can they reach out to you?
Just like anybody else in Addison, by district phone, by district email. But, Dean, I love my Twitter. And Dr. Nick Sutton is an easy way to do so. What about you, sir?
You know me. I love Twitter as well. That's Addison SD4. Now, Ray, Mark, thank you guys so much for coming on. It's truly been a pleasure to have you here. And for everybody listening, stay tuned for next time. Thank you for tuning in to our ASD Chat for All podcast. Check us out at www.asd4.org, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts for more. We'll be back soon with another episode, so stay tuned.